Welcome to another exciting edition of Are You Garbage? The show where you find out if your favorite comedians are classy individuals or absolute trash. Now, here are your hosts, Kevin Ryan and H. Foley.
Hey, everybody out there, and welcome back to everybody's favorite podcast. This is Are You Garbage?
Oh, yeah.
It's that little show we sit down with your favorite comedians, and we find out if they're good to be classy, or if they're just a big old piece of trash.
Oh, yeah.
I'm your host, H. Foley, coming at you on a beautiful day. We're out back here with Tooties in a new edition, but I'm going to tell you motherfuckers that because you're the goddamn homies.
Oh, yeah.
And we're over here on the old Patreon for a little bonus episode. Kippy and I were just watching some racy material on Twitter. Weren't you?
I'm going to be somewhere else this episode, gang.
Kevin James Ryan, everybody. Showing me pornography.
That was not
at work.
that was not pornography.
That was not pornography.
That was. I mean, if you consider that
was
pornography,
people boning.
If you consider that pornography, let me open up your mind. Let me show you something, Daddy.
With a little fisting.
What up, gang? Shout out to the motherfucking homies, the lifeblood of the organization, the goddamn shareholders, the fucking members of the board, the boots on the ground, the sleeper cells, the assassins, the whole 9 yards.
What was the name of that show again?
I don't know. Love the Temptation Island or Lust at Temptation Island. The Spanish guy who's running around.
Just so I know what to Google tonight.
Sure.
When I get home.
It's hot.
Give the wife some NyQuil. Watch my program.
Jesus Christ.
See what's going on. See how the other half are living over there. That's neither here nor there, gang. We're here for a little bonus episode. This is going to be a fun one. Because I've been very nostalgic lately.
Yeah. I have to say, I mean, this is already bothering me.
What? I don't have to use them all.
It's like you're working against me.
I'm not working against you.
Who doesn't tell their partner that they're calling an audible? We said each come up with 10 things that about what your rich friend had. What makes a rich kid is what this idea started.
We all had a rich friend growing up.
I look over, and I mean, you got 48 things. That's insane. Hey, you calling on? Hey, Kippy, just a heads up. I got a big list. You might want to bulk up your list. It's like you're working. We're not on the same team here. It's crazy.
We're on the same team.
Then why don't you tell your teammate, hey, I'm going heavy on the list?
I just want to be better than you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, it's not.
He's the rich kid.
I don't know if I'm going to use them. I did have somebody write them out for me.
My maid did it.
So let's get into it. Now, let me talk about this for a minute. This was a big eye-opener for me when I was born in Wilkes-Barre, as you know. Not a lot of cash up there, especially around the time. And I didn't have a lot of friends when I was in like 3rd and 4th grade. Then we moved down the Blue Belt.
As you do now. It's not you're not like you're the social butterfly you are today that we see in front of us.
Then we moved down to
Maybe
Blue
because
Belt.
you backstab your friends with longer lists. Maybe that's why they keep running away and dying on you.
Then we moved down the Blue Belt, and I was really opened up to a lot of different. I mean, there was middle-class neighborhoods in Blue Belt. And then, the next town over, there's a lot of cash. Talking rich. And high school was pretty good. It was the diverse group and all that stuff. Some of my boys, their parents had cash. Like
now,
cash.
is this like, I feel like my take, because you were a little west of, like, if I'm, north of the city, you're a little west of the city.
Yes. I can break this down for you.
I felt you guys were more, that to us out that, just the whole, I don't even know the specific geographic regions, but just that way to me was older money. Whereas around us was like the McMansions, whose dad was a contractor or like a lawyer or something.
Up in Bucks County, there is some old money, obviously in Doylestown and shit like that.
Not like I'm not saying there isn't, but
where you were, that really the push hadn't gone out of Philly that way yet. Now it's like that. You go out there now. The McMansions, there's cash out there. Not like old school money, but there's cash out there.
Sure.
So Blue Bell and Montgomery County were kind of like that. They were like mixed in. You had U.S. Healthcare out there and stuff like that. Unisys, all these big companies that like dads worked for. They were lawyers in the city and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yours seemed a little more, just even the houses, like a rich guy's house was older out by you than it was by me.
For sure.
Ours were like,
it was all farms out by you.
Yeah.
Fucking rednecks.
Sure. Okay, I don't know why you're fucking attacking me.
Out there tipping cows. But now it's
Maybe
different.
this is why you don't have any friends.
Now
You're
it's all
mean.
spread out.
You're mean to the people who are closest to you.
Now it's all spread out, so it's like that. It's different now.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't mind a place out there. It'd be nice.
Where?
Couldn't swing up there in Bucks Catson. That's a new hot spot. That New Hope everybody's going out.
Bella Hadid, Bradley Cooper.
I don't know what they do.
She was like I looked this up. Her
The
mom.
family had to do something.
No, her mom was a rich housewife. I think the dad was like realist. She was like an L.A. rich housewife, like a real housewife of L.A. or something.
They all got
was
that
the one
European
was
money.
that Hadid? What is? I couldn't pick any of them out of a lineup.
Mohammed Adid
Yikes!
started
Check
it all.
his list. That guy. Hey, where were you on 9/11?
He's probably like a shipping magnate or something like that.
Real estate.
Real estate.
And then he married Yolanda Hadid.
That's like who's Epstein's broad? Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Her dad was like they said her dad was like in the Mossad or
MS6
CIA
or
or something
something.
like that. But he was like he was like an Onassis shipping magnates. Now we're not talking about that kind of cash. We're talking about a nice defense attorney that had a nice place over in Lower Gwinnett or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of rich I'm talking. I ain't never seen anything like that. So what we
Like
did
what,
is
the Hadids?
so we
Yeah, I didn't think you seen fucking rupee rich. I mean, these guys are rich all over the world.
the richest guy that we didn't know, but like maybe like an aunt or somebody went to school with somebody who went to him, was a guy named Pat Croce down in Philly. He owned the Sixers for a minute, didn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
Pat Carochi.
Yeah. That was
I
like
remember I saw him driving his Bentley on the AC Expressway, man, and I'll never forget. Roll, pull over. How much for that $250,000 car? Yeah, it said like go Sixers, and I sped up. I think we were in Vinny with the Skinny's Buick. I got up right next to him.
I saw
It was
Vernon.
like road rash.
Me and my brother saw Vernon Odom one time on City Line Avenue.
Who's that? He's the tight end or something.
No, he's a newscaster down there. He used to do the it was like a black magazine show in the afternoons on Saturdays. It was called Visions with Vernon Odom. It was cool as shit.
Yeah.
You want to know what was going on in the scene?
Tune into fucking Vern. Big Vern straighten you
Ah,
out.
man. Yeah, he might as well have been fucking Brad Pitt. We were freaking out in the car.
Mm-hmm.
High as shit.
Sure.
Wanted nothing to do with it.
The most like I said, it was very like new, like the money that was there was like newer money. The girls' dads were like lawyers or like
Which that's rich.
yeah.
To a dirtbag kid. I mean,
No, they were like even in
we had blankets on our doors because of the heat.
even in the scale of that, they were like yeah, they all got like new cars when they turned 16. I got the Loom.
And all you needed was one, and it really made your child. It was like it was nice.
But ours was like more blue collar.
Even better.
It was all the kids I were friends with were like blue. It was like dad owned a construction company.
Now, some of the things on this list you had at your home,
Sure.
but you were cash poor.
We also had such a bad version of everything. It was you know what? This kind of funny. This happened. We're talking about rich kids today because when he said we were putting in our Starbucks order today, and he was like, "I'll do a sausage, egg, and cheese with sriracha sauce, please." You're allowed to ask for where I come from. You're allowed to ask for the sausage, egg, and cheese. You are not allowed to ask for sriracha.
What?
Anything above and beyond, I'll do the burger. You're getting kicked under the table from your mom. Of like, you're what? No. You don't ask someone else to pay for your sauce. That's fucking, that's written in the sand.
And the cheese better be American.
Sure, no
Man,
provolone.
Trying to get a slice of Swiss out of Patty Foley? Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so yeah.
So we did a list of things that were a telltale sign that you had a rich friend that like made the difference. And I tell you, I really remember it. I don't want to shout the family out, but I remember my buddy Eric. I remember we became friends in like 7th or 8th grade, and it was one day in the summer where they were like him and my other buddy Matt were like, ride over to our neighborhood. Now this was down fucking 202
On a bike?
on a bike. It was down 202, and I remember going over there for the first time in the summer and being like, I didn't want to go home.
Sure.
I was going to tell them my parents were both.
They're being kidnapped right now. I can't go.
They were murdered by the cartel, and I got nowhere to go. I would have stayed there forever.
I mean, I had that at my buddy Justin's. I mean, we lived there.
You fucking come to my house,
I'd leave my bike there and be like, well, I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm not gonna need this in my shitty house.
And man, dinner at those houses when you would stay over, it was so good.
She couldn't cook that great.
Really? All right, so we came up with a list. I apologize that
You sandbagged me.
I got overzealous. I didn't know if I would have that many. These are specific ones.
I'm gonna tie your shoes together next time we're going on stage.
So, number 1, telltale sign. The mom usually was a little more attractive than the average mom. Now, that could be lifestyle. That could be she don't work.
Sure.
See how it is? She don't work.
I don't think I had that in any of my friends that had money.
Couple. You know how many hot rich moms?
Or Jeannie Sachs.
Jeannie Sachs.
Kind of like you.
Thought you were on the Atkins. She had a stash down there. But he wasn't that rich. That was all front money. I remember when they were going through.
We're not arguing fictional characters' wealth. Get over it. We live in the real world. This is crazy. Shut up, dude. Get a life. Go get some friends. Go to a fucking support group, a fucking meetup. Go find a common interest with your neighbors.
Support group.
Yeah.
The mom was usually a little bit hotter, a little less wear and tear on her.
Gotcha. I didn't, in my experiences, that wasn't.
Maybe an Izod with a popped collar. Huh?
Trying to think.
Tan?
Our school didn't really have, like, that kind of.
We had a couple of poor hot moms, too.
Like, in my grade, I remember
begging for it.
Yeah, we had a couple singles. I just saw one on Facebook the other day. I went and looked back, and I don't know what I saw in her. Because just for moms, she was all right, I guess. But it wasn't. I thought.
You had a little hornball back
I
then.
remembered her like, Mrs. So-and-so's coming by. Are you done? And it just.
Start working out.
Yeah. I'm smoking and fucking doing curls.
How's that old geezer treating you, huh?
I remember at one point, it was just like, it was also, my life was, alls we did was think, like, my dad and my stepdad both just lived, work was their life. It was like, they were not.
Yeah, the dads weren't really around that much.
But it was just like, I remember my dad would pick me up, like, hey, how was work? That's right. Like, he wouldn't be like, how was school? I'd be like, because that was like, that then dictated the week, if like there
Whether
was
you were going to catch an ass beating or
Oh
not.
no, like just it was just very omnipresent of that's the temperature of what's. I mean, they both owned their own business. They couldn't like check it at the door. You know what I mean? Of like, it's like I got to be the one to open up. I got to be the one to close down. It's Saturday. I got to go in. It was like
these dads. I never heard them talking about work.
No, that was the difference. It was like you just go to work and you're working 9 to 5 and you got a house like this. Like this is you know what I mean. My dad's fucking
put the time in back in the day.
Of course, they're college educated. They're also not retarded. Like they're you know what I mean. Like they're fucking you know what I mean. Like
sure.
Not that you know. Yeah, it was just very. I just remember being like. I remember going to this one girl. We're going to. I think. We were driving home from school or something, and she had to stop by her dad's office to get something, and he was a lawyer. And we like pulled into this.
Did you have to go on an elevator?
No, it was like
that's crazy.
It was like a dumpy
really?
Like off like street road, like real shitty strip mall, like on a high, not even like
they were rich.
Yeah, and I'm like, I thought you were gonna walk me into fucking Park Avenue. This dumps. I've been past this dump every day my whole life. This place sucks. And I was like, that's when it hit me. I'm like. He ain't flashy. That's how he's got the money. He's probably ripping these poor people off.
Keeps the feds off his back. Did your father ever have an office where you had to take an elevator to get to?
What?
No, my dad was a first floor man.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Uh-huh.
Maybe for a minute when he was working for New York Life down in City Line Ave. No, Bala Kinwood.
On the like the third or fourth iteration of the family business when it was me, my brother, and my dad. I mean.
Weren't you in a trailer?
It was close. The office was
cold.
Oh, space heater galore in that place.
That carpet's thin in those places.
It had a door it had like a shop door that didn't shut. It had to be deadbolt. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have a normal handle. You had to pull it closed and then deadbolt it. I mean, you were practically it was a warehouse, like a garage, with room in it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That was the brain trust. That was
Cold.
the war room. Catch heaters all over the joint.
I like it. So what do you got?
What's
the first one?
I have some that are more generic like that, like, so and so, or and some more specific to exactly this. This one was my brother or my buddy. Him and his brother. This was the first time I was like, oh, because
you had a nice house.
We had a nice house, but listen, if my parents didn't get divorced and my dad's company didn't go belly up 9 times, they would have been. They were set up early 30s. Dad made some had a good business with other people. Like it was like he was one of 4, and it was like, hey, we're doing this right, everything. They moved out there. Marriage fell apart. She stayed in the house. I mean, I got to give it to him. He was like, you keep the house with the kids. I also think he wanted to fucking skedaddle.
This fat bastard away from me.
But then then my mom, at that point, I was young, so I don't think my mom was back. My mom then had to go back to work at the hospital.
So the material things in the house dried up. Or never got there.
I don't remember it ever. Like, I'm sure my brother and sister have better memories of them together, like, my dad doing well and everything. But
like you were blanket people as opposed to people that might live in that house that did well were comforter people, which I didn't know existed.
I'm still not sure the difference. Oh, like a comforter.
The white down comforter.
No, I had soccer players on mine. Mine was like one of those, you know what I mean? Or like, and then
nylon.
at my dad, nylon Johns. At my dad, my stepmom, or my dad bought us NBA. It had every
those were sweet.
It had every jersey on it, man.
Whoa.
You couldn't tell me. I was tugging my root under that thing.
Kid couldn't make a free throw if you fucking paid him $1 million.
I also had them up until I was fucking 21 or when the last time I stayed there. It was still the same.
Jerking off to Akeem Olajuwon.
Skyhook. I remember, like I've said before, my mom would say we're house poor, or house rich, or house, whatever the one is where.
You had no cash.
You had no cash. It was very plate spinning, big, nice house.
That's not what we're talking about here.
No. But my buddy, and him and his brother each had an Xbox. That, to me.
In their rooms, prospective rooms?
When the Xbox dropped. That was like,
damn.
I remember where I was. I was at their kitchen table, and his mom's like, we'll just get you each one. And I was like, what the
You're going to get 3?
I was like, what in the fuck? That's when I was like, that was a level of like, and now I get it. It's a little different with how much things cost and everything now. But like, I mean, you're talking, what year did the first Xbox drop? It was PlayStation 2 and Xbox. That had to be 2099 or 2001 or 2, something like that. I was in junior high, I feel.
2001.
2001.
It's pretty good.
And I remember being like, you're going to have 2 different, you're going to share it again. How many can, we were from the fact.
How you just going to fight?
My thing was like, we would have to argue for fight and bitch for a second controller.
Sure.
Let alone 2 systems.
Sure.
I was like, whoa.
In their rooms, they had them?
Each in their rooms.
Wow. That's crazy.
$300 a piece back then.
And I think a PlayStation 1 at the time was like $119. PlayStation 2 dropped for maybe like $200 or something.
Why was $100 the?
I mean, that might as well have been a fucking.
The turning point back then. If it was over, it's over $100.
That's $100. Even if in my family, if it crept up into the 70s, they were throwing it in your face and it was $100. I ain't spending $100 on no game to turn you into a idiot.
Fucking
Video.
My aunt called me that one.
Jordans were $100, and that was like, Dad's heard the $100 for sneakers.
Yeah.
The guy's doing fucking dunks. What are you talking about? Got the flu.
Another thing, same family. Those kids also he had a computer in his room, and that we had, when, AOL hit, you had the family computer, and that was in the
Sure.
basement, in the living room, in the office, whatever. But he had one in his room, and I was like, whoo.
This is a big one. Now, this might have not got out to you at the time, okay? Dirtbag area that it was. More of a rural area.
Rural?
More
Rural.
Rural. A rural. Fucking sheep people, whatever the fuck.
I do remember seeing sheep dropping in my neighborhood, dropping my brother and
What kind
sister.
of dog is that?
God damn. This is a fucked up looking cat you got, sir.
This is how you knew they had a little bit of cash in the house. The monogrammed beach bag. They were white, they had straps, and they had the family monogram, the one letter and the two letters on the side. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, LL Bean action.
I think my mom just got one.
Sure.
And it was probably a gift from, like, my sister to her, you know what I mean? Like, I'll get you this for the beach.
When the mom or the sister had that, man.
That stuff, and it is like just my small-minded idiotness is just like, so you bought a bag and then you take that somewhere? Like, we were so not the extra step family. I'll get you. It was very much the meme of, we have a bag at home. Like, that was very we have that at home, and the version.
Shopping bag. Grocery bag.
School bag.
School bag.
Yeah, it was very much, we never.
Monogram. There'd always be, I could have wrote this one down too, but they would be nice, fluffy beach towels sticking out of it.
Oh, yeah, we know. Dude, ours are like ripped, frayed, holes.
We never had
Good towels,
we didn't have beach towels until, I don't know when they put the above ground pool in. That might have been around 2000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were both out of the house. But then nice beach towels out there, always ready to go. But man, if we were going down the shore and staying at fucking the hotel or at like my aunt's house, you were out there like a dickhead with an actual fucking proper bath towel.
Yeah.
That may or may not have a huge bleach stain on it.
Sure. And a little bit of semen. All right. This one, rich kids, broad, more of a broad one. Long driveway. Long driveway. And they would typically know the distance. I remember my buddy moved into a house.
Tree lined?
Eighth of a mile driveway or quarter of a mile. I would say that when my dad was dropping me off there. Make a right up here. Quarter mile driveway. Meanwhile, I could have been 300 yards. I don't know. I was just throwing at whatever distance I was told. I was bumping it up a little bit and throwing it around town.
I remember the first time my mom dropped me off at this kid's house.
Keep going. You're going to want to keep going.
She didn't understand it. And they had like 2 or 3 acres in the front. They had horses at the house.
I mean, that's, yeah.
In like a nice stable.
I know where you grew up. And there's houses out there that we don't have that kind of stuff around.
Crazy.
Us. That, like, you have some.
Then it's mixed in with our neighbor. We might as well be coal miners.
Yeah, you guys have some people who are genuinely like, they're worth like $100 million. Where ours were like, this guy was in some pump and dump scheme in junk bonds. That was more of our
crazy
our level.
But my mom
there was no estates. There's estates
proper.
out by you.
Yeah, proper. It's crazy. And then there's the newer like McMansion type neighborhoods too.
Yeah,
but those dude, over in like Lower Gwynedd.
I mean, that's some of the richest real estate in the United States.
In another life, man, it was all right.
What life?
I don't know.
I mean, you were rich too. You know what I mean?
My mom dropping me off on one of those long driveways in the fucking Nissan pickup truck with the one headlight out.
Oh, that's a tough one. Pizza guy dropping me off. Lying.
I got to run from the guy in Giuseppe. Ah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And my mom just like, look at this place.
Look,
They were sweet as pie, though.
How much you get for a joint like this? All right, you're up.
I'm up. This is a big one.
Okay.
Now, again, I can't remember. Now, you don't have one of these. But this was a telltale sign.
I'm not sure what you remember the Ryan estate to be. And, like,
There's no
you're
horses
forgetting elements to the house.
It starts and ends with a mud room.
No.
Having a nice mud room.
Very nice. I remember the
washer and dryer next to each other, the basin sink, a rug in there.
That's a mud room?
That's a mud room. Yeah. Has a door that goes outside.
I guess then maybe we do have a mud room.
I don't think you
It's a laundry room, but there is a door that goes outside.
Oh, it's to the right. That's right. Nah, not that.
That's a laundry room. Yeah, no, that's not a mud room.
Can't have my snacks in there.
A mud room to me was a little bigger.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what we have.
Or there was those boots, those rubber boots, rain boots.
Duckies, wellies. Me wellies.
Nice. It had it looked like a craft symbol up top. I don't know what the company is. It's not Kraft, I know that. But like the
Hunter.
rubber. Yeah. Ooh.
I bought a pair for Nadine. It was my first present I bought for my wife.
Did you?
For her birthday.
Took them back a week later. And trying them out.
I remember being like, you dumb bitch, I just spent $99 on you. $100.
You get a pair of Jordans for that.
That was, yeah.
A nice mud room.
I took her out to Montauk. Off season. And we stayed at this shittiest.
Why'd you buy her rain boots? Was it raining out there?
No, for her birthday. Why? No, it was her birthday. That was her birthday. She wanted what I'd be like buying her a pair of Uggs or something.
That's funny. That's like taking her out to a nice place and getting her some like rich people stuff to wear while you're out there.
To fit in. No, there was.
You got a pair of sneakers on your feet are all soaked.
There was no one else out on Montauk. I mean, we were the only people in the motel.
Mid-November.
I walked in. I'm like, yeah, I have a reservation. He's like, for Kevin? Like that was. I was the only guy.
We've been talking about you.
Only car in the parking lot. It was like a Wednesday night.
Beat all the summer traffic.
We got out there.
Don't have the oysters this time of year. They'll kill you.
Took forever to get out there in the Montego. The radio's going. The fucking brakes are shot, man.
Had you given her the boots yet?
No, I gave them to her.
At the hotel?
At the hotel.
Whoa, look at you. Let me carry that one.
And I was like, I got something for you, and I popped the trunk, and she hit me with like, you're not proposing, are you? And I was like, I've fucking known you for 6 months, lady. I'm not fucking proposing. Unless you really want me to, then I'll think about it. I got hey, that's not nice. I got one that goes with more of a visual one. I got one that goes with the long driveway. Fancy mailbox. The first time my buddy had one of these. Let me show Lucas. Luke, you probably had one of these, you rich fuck.
Oh, fuck that.
That shit. You got, dude, mine looks like it. First of all, mine's been backed over about 9 times by Denise in the Bravada. She took that thing the fuck out.
Dog, that's where the president gets letters.
You got to be a lord.
One of the neighborhoods, I guess that must have been an upcharge. Like, hey, for this, we can throw, an extra $1,000. We'll throw in a rich guy mailbox. Whoo, it had a door, metal, key.
Dude, thought that was the house.
Also, someone in my neighborhood, I remember theirs got probably hit off by kids with a baseball bat, and they used a 2-liter that they cut the top off of and duct tape it to a pole to put in there.
Because there ain't no bigger sign you're in a bad area or again a rural area when you see just 3 or 4 mailboxes
all together,
just like at a fork in the road.
Sure. That's when
no front.
That's when the Garmin ain't working, dude. You better hope you get fucking 5G network to reconnect to the fucking maps because you're in fucking hillbilly land.
Holy shit! That's a nice looking mail.
That's a nice mail.
That was in a brick. There was some
hardscape around that a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one time. Same thing. My dad was picking us up in one of those McMansion neighborhoods at my buddy's house. Dad was a dentist, owned their own practice.
Which those were nice too.
Good cash. Yeah, they did well.
New construction was always the fresh paint.
Yeah.
The carpet that we had in our house when we moved in, buddy. It was like there were fleas in it. It was crazy. We had it. It smelled like old dog for about 10 years until we got new carpet.
We had, it was either pink or green, that late 80s, 90s. Denise picking it. I'll do the green or whatever. It was green or pink. I think it might have been 2 different time periods.
The Kelly green.
I mean, dude, Rusty had shit and piss all over that fucking thing. And I remember at one point we were at a sleepover. I don't know if I ever told you this. We had like 8 kids sleeping over. And they're all over the floor. I'm like a couple of us on the couch, the rest are on the floor. And like there was back behind the couch there was like some space. Maybe like this much space or whatever. Not this much. Definitely smaller, but
Sure,
you know.
I got you.
And there's probably like 4 or 5 kids like laid out. And they got quiet, the lights went out, and someone goes, smells like dog piss. I was like, yeah. What do you guys what do you think for breakfast? You know, just trying to change this. And I knew. I mean, Rusty had peed on that. I've been peeing on that carpet for years. Dude.
That shit don't go away, dog. That don't go away.
Like, dog piss. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking, dude. I just tried to fucking close my eyes and act like I was asleep. They were trash in the house. Oh, man, got my head in fucking dog piss. We were probably like 6th, 7th grade. Fucking dirty ass. It was bad. Well, a single mom fucking,
you know they went home and told their parents.
Sure.
Well, put that right in the mudroom then. Put that in the wash.
I don't know if I ever told you. We had one kid, it wasn't even a money thing. Just like, you know, I come from dirtbags, right? Kensington, Roxborough dirtbags. And there was just more refined, the people that whose parents weren't from the city. They had moved from like Central Jersey or, you know, Wilkes, just something.
Not Wilkes-Barre.
They weren't as, they were a little more refined or just wasn't as rough-edged as the people I come. Like just everybody. And my dad was doing, we were at my dad's house. He had one of the shop trucks. And so me and my buddy drove around in the back of the pickup truck all day as my dad ran errands. He went home and told his mom, and he was no longer, she called my dad and fucking bitched him out. What are you doing with my son? Also, this wasn't like the 80s. We did not belong in the back of a fucking pickup truck, just fucking hanging.
Yeah, you did.
What?
Come back.
Well, he thought it was the coolest experience. He's like, man, I'd never be able to fucking do this. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we can throw shit out the back. We can do whatever the fuck. I do this shit all the time. You can do whatever you want.
My mom didn't give a fuck where I ride it. As long as she didn't have to take us. Are you kidding me?
You can put his fat ass in a cop car.
I remember being in the back of a pickup truck, fucking like going back and forth to wrestling practice in the middle of winter with freezing my fucking balls off.
Sure.
I think this is a universal thing. I'm not sure. At a certain point, okay, so as a child, it was always the shitty metal trash cans, the outdoor trash cans.
Sure.
Okay? Or it was the shitty plastic ones. But then at a certain point, the trash companies, they started giving you the nice big ones with the wheels.
The hard plastic, not the thin plastic.
The big ones with the wheels and the big flip.
Like the waste mat. That's ones they can hook up to the
waste management. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't.
That's still. I think my mom's got one for recycling. That's
it.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that.
I don't have that at my house in the
time.
burbs.
Really?
No.
I thought they give you one automatically now when you sign up.
I'm using middle of the road, not even great one. Two
Is there
of them.
wheels on it?
Yeah, I mean that's not the fucking the ones without wheels you pull, and then you pull them so much that the bottom wears out. That man,
like an old big wheel.
And you're dragging your trash juice down the fucking driveway. Your dad comes home. He's had a bad day at work. He can't cover payroll. Next thing you know, you're in a fist fight with a grown man. So I've heard.
So we never saw those. And then when those things hit, it was the rich neighborhoods that had those for like 5 or 6 years before we got them.
That's funny. The rich neighborhood, the rich, it felt like to us, like the people who had their shit there, whatever it was the big blue commingled bins. You remember that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, recyclables.
Oh, the carry bins?
So it used to be there was out the Philly burbs, I don't know, were everywhere. Like for us,
we had the blue bins.
Red was glass. Green was aluminum.
No.
I'm telling you what I had.
Gotcha.
I understand. Hey, guy, there's a two-way street here.
Got you.
And then plastic. I don't know what. I think you're throwing plastic out.
We just had blue.
No, at some point you had before they could before they could had like a sorter or whatever, you had to separate them yourself. Glass and aluminum went 2 different ways.
Yeah?
100%. Most of your life.
I don't think Patty Foley did.
Because that blue thing didn't come around until probably the mid-90s.
That blue thing was
late
nice.
90s. I remember getting that. I would take a bath in there. That thing brand new. Woo, that's something new at the house. That was all right.
That's fresh plastic.
That's fresh plastic.
That's recycled too?
Got the commingled.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I like it.
All right, I got one. This is a very specific one that only one kid had, but it's a fucking dead giveaway.
F-14
A lot
Tomcat.
a lot of the same kid. This is a lot of the same kid's house.
Yeah, this is like 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah. Basketball net with a glass backboard.
Come on.
It was called the Gorilla, and man, it had the fucking you didn't have to get the mop handle out to fucking
Might as well
joist
be
it
at
up.
the United Center.
Man, that was another thing. We'd pull it. My dad would drop us off and go, check out that Gorilla they got right there. Look at that thing. Like Gorilla.
He gets out and takes a shot.
Bread and butter. He's hitting it with the fucking sky.
Take this thing for attention.
Take this back to the fun. It's all about fundamentals, baby.
Get his old man out here. Let me whoop his ass real quick on his own court.
That was. I remember being like, that's because like you get your hands on a either a lot of people had like the one that you filled with sand, like the whatever the water
Sure.
one. They were floating around. A lot of people had them down by the street so you could play in the street if their driveway was on a hill or whatever. But this kid had the glass, John, and he also I don't think he might have had the box with the 3-point at some point.
What?
Or he had some
Painted on the driveway?
I don't know if it was painted or I think they used like that aluminum duct tape types. There was some sort of markings I remember. I can't call it exactly. But he had markings. I remember being like, your dad's letting you defile the blacktop like that? That's crazy.
What's your landlord say?
Yeah. Your stepdad's going to be pissed, huh? Yeah, that's strange, yeah. It makes sense of like, hey, now looking, I get it, of you're like, hey, we're going to spray paint the driveway. I would be like, now, if I had kids, I'd be like, yeah, who gives a fuck? I don't know, it's the fucking driveway.
Sure.
But to ask my mom to spray paint the driveway in 99 so I could play basketball with my friend, that would have been like, she would have had me send me to military school for even asking.
The free throw line was a designated scratch or dip or...
Yeah. You took a rock a lot of times and fucking did that so a good rain would come and wipe that away.
Otherwise, it's your ass.
Uh-huh.
Man, I remember when they get that driveway resealed.
We never had that.
Oh.
I think one time we had a bad crack. We still do. I think one time they just did that strip. You know what I mean? The poor man's refinish.
You hit that in a rainstorm? Woo! It's
We
like
just
a sheet
had
of
like
ice.
they came in with the black duct tape and fucking hit it one time. I remember, I think my sister, somebody got it done like recently, or I forget who it was.
Got the whole driveway done?
I don't know, but it looked like they just spray painted the whole thing. It was just like, this ain't weatherproof. This is chalking right now. It's all gonna wash away. You're gonna ruin a fucking water system in the reservoir. That's gonna run right into the fucking watershed.
In my experience, families such as these usually came with one discernible item. And that item was an older, hot sister.
We didn't have that.
I don't know one
get it.
wealthy family that I grew up with that didn't have some dime piece about 4 or 5 years older than us. And man, were they hot.
I get that. That's like story, but that's like movie to me. I didn't experience that.
Dated some dickhead who was a dick to you. He was like 7 years older.
Mm-hmm.
He would just come over. He was rich too. You'd be down in the den or something like that. He'd come over and just beat the shit out of the first time I met the guy.
Yeah, I never had that.
No hot sisters?
Not for the rich. I didn't hang out. I had one kid who was like, had money, but then to find out there wasn't money there. They were just spending it, Yeah, a couple, but like younger sister, like a year or two younger than us or whatever, and
Sure.
Prerequisite for a rich family house, finished basement.
Oh, forget
Newly,
it. I got that
like
on there too.
a good,
The whole thing.
a good finished basement.
The whole thing.
Ours was so bad. We tried. My uncle Den came, and then he got more side work, so he left us high and dry, or my dad stopped paying him. I don't know what happened, but there was a we had a pallet of drop ceiling tiles not installed. We have a drop ceiling in our fucking man. We used to hide our weed and shit up there, and it all had leaks and corners were broken.
House shit up there.
It's fucking. Dude, you're in a basement. The ceiling's low already. Then you're dropping that thing about 6-8 inches.
Dog, a water stained drop ceiling is gross.
If you go to Denise's right now, that's all it is. I remember, dude, that we must have got real discount fucking tiles too. They were crumbling, or there was so much moisture in the air down there that they were chalking up. It was bad. They weren't dry. They were you could just. So it was they were thick fucking graham crackers, kind of. Just
I know what you're talking about.
Just
they would puff up on the other side.
That's brutal.
That's all right. Glass stove was big with an island.
Glass stove.
The glass stove.
Yeah, I didn't.
Where the whole thing was flat.
I didn't. My one family friend. They weren't rich, but his dad worked for Whirlpool. Shout out Dougie B. His dad worked for Whirlpool, so he got it. That was the ceramic glass. They're called ceramic tops or whatever.
Yeah.
First time, I think.
The island.
Before they became popular, the only time I ever saw.
The island was big too.
Island was big.
I knew that was a house that I wanted to wake up on a Saturday morning in, have some fucking pancakes, some eggs, oogle it to sister.
Sure.
Get my shit out of the mudroom. Fucking go back to reality.
As an island
fucking
boy.
Patty picking me up in her tractor.
As an island boy, we have an island. We got a great island.
Must be nice.
Yeah, that's also why Denise is still in that house after 30. Fuck, how old am I? I'm 38. Out of 36 years, she's 34, 5 years, something like that. She's been there. That was her dream home. She fought tooth and nail to keep that house. God damn, that broad. They might as well put the padlock on that thing 2 or 3 times. Where there's a will, there's a way for fucking Denise. Okay. This one's a specific, very specific, but blew my mind. To me, I guess it's the arbitrarily spending of money. Does that make sense? Where you're you have this, fine. Why do you also have that? That to me was we're not gonna. Kid had a 5-gallon water jug, the hot and the cold.
Oh, what the fuck? Was they work at a law firm?
At the house.
That's crazy.
And I remember being to try to sell that idea, to sign up for some service that's going to come drop gallons, then who's going to move the jugs? Because Denise ain't that would be, you got this thing. We got the fridge. Meanwhile, that's shooting out black shit for the last 5 years. You couldn't use the ice for about 4 or 5 years at the house.
The one that had the hot also had the cold, and that cold.
That's what I'm saying. The hot
freezing.
And cold. Dude, we'd be playing basketball on the fucking painted ass fucking court on the Gorilla. We'd lower that thing to 6 feet. I'd be doing fucking dizunks. Using a woman's ball so I can palm it.
I never understood how it got hot so quick. That's like a cup of tea.
Insta hot, yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Very good one. Very good one. In that arbitrarily spending of the cash, I knew a family that the parents ate out every fucking weekend. They would go out to dinner. And at least once or twice during the week, they'd go out to dinner. And you were allowed to go. He would take 2 or 3 of us to dinner on a Wednesday night. Salad bar, appetizers, dessert, coffee.
I don't think I ever went out.
Oh.
I mean,
going out to dinner with somebody else's parents, knowing that they got it. Sure. No anxiety of the check or anything. Woo!
We had Pat. That would be Pat's. I probably shout out to to Pat's dad.
I could see
Shout
that.
out to- they're.
He'd be a fun hang at dinner.
I told you I went out to dinner with. I met up with them with my wife about I don't know 8 months ago. We just met them. They were fucking. We were driving down from whatever to my mom's. Yeah, and they're like, we're in Jersey. I'm like, I'll fucking swing by.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We went to an Italian joint in fucking outside Trenton or something. Posted up, had 2-3 cocked. I jumped on the tab because he had taken me. I mean, goddamn, there's someone I owe fucking $50,000 to. It's Pat's dad.
Gave me a nice grift at the park show for the wedding. Like a gentleman.
Sure, yeah.
Like you and your wife get a couple of drinks.
Put a couple in your palm.
He'd be fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he's a great hang. But I mean, I've hung out with him more than most of my other friends throughout our lives. But yeah, I get that. I don't know, that didn't just like going out.
That might have been the difference of what you were saying before of the development of the areas, because money hit in Montgomery County. I feel like there was like the old, but then also like it just like popped off in the 90s, in the late 80s and 90s.
Sure.
Where it seemed like some families just had cash and all these fucking restaurants popped up and all this kind of stuff and everybody was out eating. That's when the Bluebell Inn was fucking popping.
Yeah, I don't have that many memories of like going out a whole bunch. I would with my mom, like me and my mom. I remember me and Denise just at the Applebee's on Street Road, just me and her, a good amount, eating good in the neighborhood.
That's different though. That's trying to get a decent meal in you.
Shout out to that was where I discovered
free refills.
That barbecue chicken fucking crossed my T's and dotted my I's. That's
a single mom trying to get food in your belly.
Yeah, that was more. It was just a lot of time. It was just me and Denise. A good chunk. A lot of time it was just alone.
This is rich family. She doesn't feel like cooking. She had a tennis lesson or something like that. He's meeting us after work.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, we didn't. Yeah,
it was joyful.
That was not the case for us. I don't even think
somebody would have to die for us to go out to dinner, like my parents. We weren't going out to dinner.
We did.
You get cheesesteak, bring it back to the house.
Yeah, I think it's just because we didn't eat that well. Like it was more like let's just grab pizzas and fry.
Pizza's different.
But I think like whenever I was at my friends, that's what was. They were never like if there was like 3 or 4 of us at my buddy's house, they were never like, let's go out to eat. It was more just like, let's get a bunch of pizzas and a couple cheesesteaks and a salad and fucking buffalo, whatever. We would all just order. Yeah, never, I can't remember ever. I'm sure I have at some point, but also nobody wants to take me out to dinner. I get it. Fucking underwear stinking and stuff.
This was, hey, is it cool if Seth and Henry and Jason come? Yeah, of course. We'll drop yous off after. The Mercedes pulling into my neighborhood, giving my mom a lip for the next couple hours.
You go in. Why don't you get your fucking ass out there and take a look at a real car, will you?
Well, you like being over there so much?
Oh, I got that.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm not getting my fucking balls broken.
They got fucking
snacks.
leather sectional couches and fucking all the cable. Fucking, they got sugar cereal. She's cooking breakfast in the morning. I busted my fucking balls. But then you get home. You get there, fucking get back to the house at like noon. All of a sudden, you had a laundry list of chores and shit. She would fucking put the screws to you. She wouldn't calm down till after 5 o'clock mass. Smooth it over a little bit.
I remember sleeping over like a lot of times I'd stay over Pat's house or vice versa. He would crash in my place. And we would do the drop-off at Mass the next morning. Are you going to the 9:15?
There you go.
All right, I'll bring him to the 9:15. You can go sit with your, that's where the fucking pass would be. But if I would...
Two little heathens.
Saturday night, I'd be like, hey, can I stay at fucking Gary's house? And they get, yeah, but I'm picking you up for Mass in the morning. And you're like, what's the fucking point, lady? I'm not fucking... I'm trying to stay up till 3 a.m. and watch Cinemax. And you got me fucking going to the Lord's house at fucking 6 a.m.
Hit you with the 7:30.
I don't even get
You could do the fucking 9. Give me this shit.
I don't get the...
Why were they like that? What was that?
I don't know.
Because she was always okay with people staying over. Nobody wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like maybe...
Fucking
I don't know.
dog.
I don't understand the dynamics of... jerk off sons to, mothers. But I'm sure it's like, oh, it's a fucking, you leave me. Meanwhile, my mom's eating a fucking Applebee's by herself now.
They bring the chicken out anyway.
That's just for one, thank you.
Did you know any families? This
What one was that? Finished basement?
Yeah, finished basement.
No, 5-gallon water jug.
Oh, 5-gallon water jug. Nice.
Only kid I knew with one.
Screaming. Little cups on the side, like you're working at Brant Leland. Yeah.
DCB, taking care of business.
Did you know any families that would go away for the holidays?
No.
What the fuck, dude? Are you a king?
Pat's family started doing it.
Really?
But listen, let me pull that back a little.
Going down the shore in the winter?
No, they do Florida. Out of like Trenton on Frontier. It was like a real fucking like spring break type vibe. But I remember like you're going to fucking.
They all chipped in on a house.
Oh no! It started like around Thanksgiving. Probably in like this is probably in college, late high school. Like it was like we're gonna get out of town, go to whatever. And I remember, but even then I was like, whoo. I remember the barrier to entry about getting on a plane for me, up until we started traveling for this, was like, dude, I remember. I was supposed to go to when the big dog Chris Myers was playing for the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to go. We were supposed to have a cousins weekend down there. 2 nights before, my dad gets sick, is in the hospital. So me and Danny don't go because my dad's in the hospital.
Gotcha.
My sister does. They were not speaking at the time, so she still went. She was like, I'm going. But my sister had bought me the ticket because I was a poor college kid.
Okay.
Probably call it round trip direct, at $312.
Your sister did.
Yeah.
Sister bought you. Was your mom going?
No, it was cousin's weekend.
Cousin's weekend. Okay. All right.
And I mean, I am poor to a level of I can't ask Denise to buy me a plane ticket to go get fucked up in Houston for the weekend. That ain't fucking, unless I'm Bun B, that ain't happening. Okay? Just not. Me and Denise are on such bad terms my early 20 years.
Sure.
It's like I'm just a fuck off at fucking college, not even doing well in college, just drinking, smoking, fucking being a fat fucking idiot. That's causing resentment with my stepdad, who's like, he don't fucking worry. He's a fucking, now he's giving her money to give to me. He don't like that at all.
Hey, don't you mind your business?
Every time I come home, me and him are fucking fighting just like fucking. It's brutal. Brutal.
That's why you want to sleep over at Stutzky's.
That's why I'm trying to go to Big Kev's house. So she buys me the ticket. And it's so funny. It's just so small-minded. She buys me the ticket. I have to cancel. She can't cancel. So as we know now, if I buy Luke's ticket, I don't get that credit. Luke gets the credit with fucking Delta.
Mm-hmm.
He
knows that all too well.
So she comes back, right, a week after, and she's like, hey, listen, I called. You just get the credit. And I went, whoop the fucking do. I felt I could go anywhere in the world, but I didn't have the courage. It was like this.
You couldn't go anywhere in the world.
I know, but in my head, I'm telling people, dude, I'm at the Richboro
You
Club.
couldn't make it past Colorado.
I couldn't make it to Houston again, probably. I'm telling people at the I'm cross-eyed drunk. Telling people at the Richboro Pub, I'm drinking on fucking Vinny with the skinny stab. Going, yeah, I got a plane. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm like, I don't have the courage to get, where am I going to go?
Stepping out, huh?
Where am I going to go by myself? But I'm fucking, in my head, baby, I'm already there. I'm going to put this whole town in my rear view. I might relocate. Dude, it was like the winning lottery ticket that I couldn't cash. You know what I mean? Nothing ever came of it. I let that thing
still sitting out there.
No, they expire after like 2 years. That and my old company gave me a 5-day, 4-night, those like that you would win in like a raffle.
Dude, I used to not be able to wrap my head around that. The 4-night, 5-day. Where am I staying the last day?
The fuck am I on my own? You're leaving me for dead?
5 day, 4 night.
I remember
what am I
Oprah.
gonna do for dinner?
Oprah would say that, and I'd go, "What the fuck?"
Gee, bitch.
What, walking around town with my luggage like a jerk off.
6 day, 6 night. What are we
Fuck,
doing?
let's even out the
The
fucking
fuck is
field
this?
here. Yeah.
That used to, I'd be like, what? That's a ripoff.
Oh, so you leave at the evening of the. Why don't you just stay an extra day then? Leave in the morning, get that breakfast.
4 night, 5 stay day.
All right, dude.
Fuck that.
It came in a folder, like all the information. Like they
Wait, who
wanted.
give you this?
My old boss, when I was working at the home improvement company, they got it from something or something. It's like a package you buy for
Back
like
at the
$900.
Richboro pub.
Man, and he hands me up. It was a blue folder, and I went, well, lottie frickin' da. And
Won't be seeing you guys around anymore.
man, I used to sit in the Montego and smoke cigarettes and just look through the pamphlets like, man, and you know what could be. And I called one time to see if I could book it, and I'll never forget. I was sitting in the parking lot of my family's office garage, and I had lent the whatever. I'm sitting in the fucking car and I'm catching a heater, and I'm like, you know what? My
Today's the
boys
day.
were going. I had no money. My boys were going to Florida for like spring break or something, and I'm like, hey, I got this 5 days. I got a trip. I just got to activate this bad boy. I called up, and he's like, it was like through Apple Vacations or something. I go, yeah, I got this from whatever, and he's like, yeah, what's your, I need your Z, your confirmation number. And I'm like, 66529. He goes, no, it should start with an R. And I'm like, now I'm panicking.
I put an R in front of that.
I try that. I'm Kevin Ryan. I'm just like, I got it from ABC Construction. And they're like, he's like, I need it. He's just working in a call center in probably the Sudan or something. You don't fucking know. So finally he's like, sir, I don't know what you're talking. Like, it was like I can't help.
They give you a bum trip?
No, I don't know. And I hung up and was like, I'm never leaving Bucks County ever again. I can't,
You're giving him your mom's phone number? Try that!
You want to call her, see if you guys can figure this out?
Yikes.
Yeah, it's tough. But how do we get there? Jesus Christ. I got three quick ones.
Hit me.
When they hit, also, you got to think, too, I was living in the time of this technology jump. And when I was in my early, junior high was when internet, fucking big screen TV, plasma, like all that shit started.
Heavy bike, big screen TVs.
Projection screen. One friend had one. I mean, it took 18 remotes to get this fucking thing on. It started humming. It sounded like a weed whacker.
Multiple remotes was a sign of wealth for a long time.
Yeah, and the one guy knew how to do it. Yeah.
That was another one, too, that I had. A guy that, having a guy. Like, one or two of these families had a guy. It was like, oh, Arthur's coming over today.
Wow.
Like a property manager kind of guy.
Yeah, no.
That would he'd put the fish tank in. He would clean this. He would do the driveway or whatever.
My one boy
Yeah.
was a construction, and his dad had Dickie. Dickie would come over, and, he was like his,
Yeah. I
you know.
remember I tried to bark orders at Arthur. He fucking put me in my
What's your
place.
fat ass say?
Real quick.
Of course you did, you fucking piece of shit.
Little taste of power.
Yeah.
Hey, Arthur, I stepped in some dog shit. Yeah, how would I rub it in your fat face? Okay.
This is a trashy thing, a real trashy thing. Have you ever spent so much time over your other friend's house that you learned their remote?
Sure.
I remember knowing,
Now I got it.
knowing how to navigate. Because back in the day, all the remote. Now they're all pretty uniform. It's like the red button and then the cable button or the YouTube, like whatever. But man, all those I remember. Fucking, I got it from here. Thanks, Mrs. S. Fucking jujitsu on that thing.
How those pretzel nuggets coming?
Okay. Next thing I got, kind of generic, pool table. That can go
Sure.
either way.
Very.
But
That could be some new money shit that got real bad real quick.
or like I had a buddy where like you couldn't shoot because it was so small in
yeah.
the basement, and it was like one of those super small pool tables to begin with.
Missing balls was bad too.
Yeah,
And
or, like,
one
didn't have the
stick that
rack.
worked.
Yeah,
The fucking thing at the tip would fall off.
Mhm.
Yeah, bad news. All they had was the rake thing.
The bridge.
Yeah.
This what do they call it? The sissy stick or something like that. I mean, you get your ass kicked, you pull that in a pool hall.
Got eaten out.
Okay.
Eaten out during the week.
Last one I got was specific to one kid's house. I've said this. They put an addition on urinal in the bathroom.
That's crazy.
Man,
That's crazy.
it was.
Is that rich or is that trashy?
I mean, it was new money trash. I've only ever seen it once, and it was there. And they didn't, like we said, the story kind of unfolded. They didn't have the money, but they were spending it. Lines of credit, I believe.
I got one that's going to blow your hair back.
Hit me.
The truest sign of a family with a little bit of cash was the built-in, under-the-lawn sprinkler system.
Whoa.
That grass was usually sodded. I only ever seen that on golf courses. When the sod came in and they got that thing put in and you saw the pipes running around.
I think.
Woo! Did you have that?
No.
I think
My
that-
rich friend did.
Yeah, because new construction, I think it's easier to do it. Like,
Yeah.
you do all that
It's all
shit.
PVC.
Yeah, so I think it's like you don't have to dig up. You're like, hey, it's there, and then you just. I think that one buddy, the urinal buddy, I think they might have had it. It's maybe just like in the garden. I don't think they had it in the whole yard, like in the mulch in the front.
The way that lawn would smell on a fucking warm summer night after that was fucking running for an hour or two. Oh, the fucking walkway, wet it down as you're walking up to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Wee! Clean living.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
We got to wrap it up, though, gang.
Good stuff. What a fun one, gang.
Uh-huh.
We love you to death. See you next weekend.
Peace.